Hi, Cleveland ISD. I'm Dawn O'Connor, and I'm going to walk you through adding staff development to your Eduphoria Strive for your staff. And so you can go ahead and put in staff development and trainings and keep track of those and have them in one place for the district. So with that, we're going to start by going into Eduphoria and Strive. Strive is going to be all things staff development. And then when you get into Strive, you're going to want to go over here to the left to settings and go to workshop settings. No matter what your sidebar looks like, you may have some more features, you may have less features. You should still see settings and workshop settings. Under workshop settings, you're going to navigate to course management and courses. So for that, it's going to bring you up a list of all the current courses that we have or that you have made, and then add a new course. And this is going to give you a couple of options. It says new or copy existing. So if you have an existing, like every Monday you have a training, and it's called the same thing and it's just every Monday at 2, you can copy that as an existing course. And so all you do is click here, and then when you click next, it would ask you for the name of the session. You type it in and find the old one, and then you're off and running. In this video, we're going to create a new empty course, and it's just going to be a test course. So I'm going to name it test session. And then here you can enter a course description. That's something that is viewable for all of the staff members who see this. And then also, you'll be able to update this later. So if you make mistakes, or if you want to go back and like, I have that, but I don't want to put it in yet, you can put it in when you get the course done. Your dates and times, and just make sure, I'm going to tell you, I've come across issues because it'll say, like I'm going to start this training on the 31st at 8 a.m. and sometimes the date for the next one will be off, or the time. So just say we went from 8 to 10. I'm going to set that, move on with my next button. Then you're going to come to the T-test screen. So if you're doing a training, an instructional training that will benefit a professional certified teacher or educator, you can add a T-test dimension in here if you know which one it is. If you don't, that's fine. You can skip that. But it is listed, cross-referenced in the teacher's portfolio that they've done some work in that specific area. So now it tells me that was all it needed to create my course. And so it's course created. Now at the bottom right-hand side, it says begin editing course. And we're going to go there. And it's going to take us to the course page, essentially. So the first page we get is just an overview. There's nothing you can change on the screen. Everything here is going to be on the other tabs to look at. So you'll check your times, your course, and all that. So I've seen some errors in here. I want to go to setup because I made some mistakes. So you go to setup and you can just go down the line. Course description. Remember I told you you could go back in and enter things after the fact. This is where. So say I want to name this test session elementary. I can always change it here. I'm going to hit save. I have a really kind of a crazy habit. I hit save after everything. You don't have to hit save after every single change you make, but just before you go to the next screen, I highly recommend it because you want to make sure that what you're doing is being saved in the system. So I've updated my title and description. I don't have additional information. You won't need that. Sessions and locations. So for instance, say if we're having the session tomorrow and it's going to be at the service center in the large training room, you can pull, and you should, based on what your campus is, be able to see rooms available to you. So I want to do a training in the large training room in the service center. And so I click on that, and then I have to hit save down here at the bottom. If you change the date or the time or the location, you always have to hit save down here. If you hit it up here, it will not save. I know it says save up here, but especially just like I said, when it pops up at the bottom, hit save. Now, when I say the service center training rooms, I do want to note, I just kind of picked that one out, but in order to reserve those, we need to, you would need to email Kelly Mouton, M-O-U-T-O-N, at the service center, and she's the one who reserves those rooms for staff members. So if you needed that room, please let her know. Doing this alone, selecting it here, does not reserve the room for you. It just tells your attendees where you're going to meet. But this is not going anywhere beyond just letting them know. So once we've saved that, we're going to move into our publication dates. Now, I set the course to happen tomorrow, and so the course is closed. The registration's closed. It usually closes 24 hours before your session begins. So you'll want to either one, if you know that your participants are going to register up until the last minute, you can over here close your staff registration. You can make it all the way up until the time that the class starts and change it. And if you save that, then hit save. It's going to take just a second. And then I want to show you back over here on overview where it said course registration is closed. Now it says it's open. So folks can still get in and register at a late hour. But a lot of times when you set your trainings, weeks or months in advance, that 24-hour buffer is nice because you can look at it and know, okay, this is how many attendees I have and this is who is coming. Or you can say, hey, I expected to see your name and I didn't, so let's register you if you have a staff member who hasn't. So we're going to go back into setup because I showed you how publication dates worked. Instructors, you'll want to select who the instructor is for the course. If for some reason you do not see the person that you need as far as who the instructor is, so for instance, say this is at the high school and Dr. Christy Dietrich is presenting, I'm going to look down here and I'm going to look for, I passed her up, for Dietrich. And so I would just click on her name right there. But again, if there's somebody and you don't see their name, please let me know and I can work on that. It's a quick fix. So just let me know. Course managers, you really won't need to do much with that. So if you have a situation where you're like, okay, maybe that is a solution, but I haven't come across one yet. A course survey. Anything that we spend federal money on, any training that we have federal monies or even state monies that we spend, we're going to click that the course survey is required because that is a part of spending that federal money is to make sure that we have course surveys for what we're doing with that money. So you would just check that. There is a survey already built into the system. So once you click it, you don't have to do anything else. Your attendees are going to come to your training. They are going to get trained, and then they're going to get an email that says, fill out the survey. And once they do, they can get their certificate. Also, if they go to get their certificate and they haven't filled out their survey, it will prompt them to do that then. If it's just like a Monday meeting, like Monday admin meeting, we don't really need to click that survey button. That's, like I said, usually exclusive to federal monies. Course dimensions, that's again your T-test, T-PES. So if you don't know necessarily where it would fit in, but you want to provide T-tests a dimension, then you go and you talk to somebody and they said, this is where it fits in, then you can always go and add it here. We're not going to do any linked courses right now. We can do course restrictions, but I'm going to warn you, not everyone in the district is labeled correctly in Eduphoria, and it's not due to any error. It's just we know that there's little things here and there that may be missing or something didn't get clicked. So the warning that I'm going to give you is, say for instance, you have a training at the middle school. So you can click this, and any teacher who's at the middle school through Eduphoria will be able to register. But say you have a teacher that works at the high school and the middle school, but their Eduphoria is really based on high school academics, and they coach at the middle school, and so they don't have access. They wouldn't be able to get in even if you needed them to. So I just want to warn you that it's a good way to lock your courses, but there may be a couple of folks that say, I can't see it. I can't register for that. And so that'd be another good opportunity to email me and say, hey, I've got a staff member that it looks like they're maybe on the wrong campus or something is wrong with their access. Take a look at it. And so I'll be happy to do that if you let me know. So you can limit your restrict your courses, but you don't have to. It's just an ability that you have. And then we're going to go close up course description and move on to credits and categories. So I did a test session for 2 hours from 8 to 10. So what I'm going to do is, if there was some continuing professional development, I'm going to go ahead and give that credit. And then say it was an assessment training. So you can give them some assessment credit for that. And then you would just save that information, not necessarily any elective credit. And course categories, this is a better way to kind of categorize your course. So earlier we talked about how you can exclude certain teachers, like only the middle school teachers can register for this. This doesn't exclude anyone, but it gives further information. So say, for instance, I go into my catalog and I want to find courses all about assessment. Well, if this course is about assessment, it's going to pull up. So it's just like, I want to say on any website, a tag, something that'll take you somewhere else. So for instance, if you click, bilingual, this is going to show up in the bilingual trainings. If you click K-12, it's going to show up when somebody clicks show me all K-12 trainings. It's just the category it's in. We do not have any stipends. We may have course goals, but you're not required to enter those at this time. So let's go back to overview. It looks like we're registering is open. The class is there. We meet at the service center. Credit is given when course is completed. Oh, it doesn't say anything at all. So I'm going to go back and make sure that I saved that course credit. Let me save that. And again, it'll be just a second to get it done. And then here, the following credit is given when course is completed. And so it'll say they're going to get 2 hours. The next, after setup, the next tab is attendees. And this is where people's names are going to show up as they register, or you can register them yourselves if you know that there's somebody in particular that you need. So I want to enroll, say I'm going to enroll Mr. Armstrong. So I type in Armstrong and I search for him. And there he is. So I would click on his name, I would hit select, and it would add him to my roster, which I'm not going to do right now because Mr. Armstrong will call me and go, why am I in a test session? But that is how you would get somebody into the course, is just by hitting select on their name. You can do it by group. I don't recommend it because, like I said, again, there are some people that may be misidentified on your campus, and so that may eliminate some. But again, it could be a good way to find out who's off that list and how do we need to get them back on. But that is how you add people to your course. After you get people, oh, you know what, I'm going to add myself. That way I can show y'all what that looks like. Probably a better idea. So I'm going to go ahead and add myself. And now I'm enrolled in this course. And I went to the course. It was the day of. I went, I signed the sign-in sheet. You have my proof that I was there. So you can actually click on my name, right click on it, and you can say grant attendee credit, mark absent, mark active in class course roster, unenroll. You can see my portfolio and see what else I've done. But basically, this is where you would just give credit or not give credit. If you have a group of people and they were all there, you can, or even if they weren't, mark your absences first, like go through and say, okay, this person was absent, but then nobody else was absent. As long as you mark them absent, you can grant all of them credit, and it will give everybody credit except for the people you already marked. So that is helpful. It's a little bit of a time saver. Survey, that is where you're going to find a survey results if it's federal monies and we assign a survey. And there's not much to do over here with notes and attachment and discussion, but if you wanted to use that for some reason, you absolutely could, but it's not required. So once you get that made, we're just going to save it. And I'm going to show you that it's going to pop up here now, over here in this March 2021. And then if I go down to the bottom, here it is. So once you get your course in there, it's listed. People can go in and sign up. That's the other thing. Let me show you how to give folks your sign up link. So when you get to the overview page for that course, the very last thing is the direct URL. You're just going to copy this and That's what you're going to send to people. And once they click on this, which I'm going to copy it and I'm going to show you in a new window, let me sign in. And it should take me directly to that course registration page. Yep. And I've been enrolled already, so the only option I have is to unenroll. But anybody who clicks that link who's not in the course already will see this say enroll. They'll click there and they're in. It's as easy as it gets for enrolling. If you have any questions, if you need a follow-up, if you have any other needs where you're like, a quick video will probably work for this, let me know. I'm here to help. The expectation is that we are all putting our staff development, and I'm talking about anything from auxiliary to leadership, we're all putting that staff development in this system so that we are prepared and have everything in one place when we need it. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your help. And if there's anything that I can do to make this process easier for you or to do a better job of explaining or clarifying, please email or call me. Thanks and have a wonderful evening.